Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Monday the 7th of June 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Wheel of the Year tarot for today's reading. Let's see what the cards have to say about Monday and what energy is coming up for you. So I'm just going to shuffle the cards a few times, and then I'm going to choose 3 cards to see what the tarot wants to share. First, we've got the 5 of Chalices, the 5 of Cups. Then we have the 6 of Cups in reverse and the Hanged Man. Okay, so the message I'm getting very, very strongly is that it's important not to commit to one way of looking at things. It's to be willing to adapt your perspective and to see both sides of the coin. The Hanged Man is all about upending your way of looking at things, and even looking at the self and whether you've done everything correctly or not. So to look within. And then the 5 of Cups is whether a situation is really all good or all bad, or whether it's somewhere in between. This card has to do with perception and your perspective on things as well, because you can see a woman kind of dreaming or looking at another couple and really feeling like she's isolated and she's not getting what she wants. So all of this is about the way people experience the world, and the cards are really hitting home the message that your perception isn't always right, and by being willing to change that way of looking at things, you can really benefit and you can find some new ways of moving ahead. So we've got all these birds here in the first card. So you're free to choose, and you're free to look at any situation the way you want. So here the 5 cups have spilled and she's horrified, but the birds in the background are saying she can decide to look at this another way. So for instance, let's say there was water in these cups and they've spilled in a flower bed. I mean, there are worse places for cups to spill, because if there was water in there, the water is now actually helping these plants to grow and to flourish and to thrive. So yes, she has to get more water, that's not ideal. But on the plus side, in the grand scheme of things, the flower bed is going to do really well as a result of this accident. So the 5 of Cups is usually a card that sees someone heavily in grief and looking at 3 cups that have spilled and really lamenting that fact and saying, oh, this is really a bad situation. But he's got 2 cups behind him which are standing upright, and the card really does say that nothing is ever absolute, and it's important not to get entrenched in one particular viewpoint, that there's always a silver lining, and that by reacting too strongly you'll miss that silver lining and you're missing an opportunity. So before you do anything, the cards are saying, remember that you're free to decide what you want to do. I mean, the example with this that comes to mind, like if I'm in the kitchen and I spill all the coffee grains on the floor, I can either go, oh, how annoying, I'm going to have to sweep all these up. And I can either get really frustrated about that, or I can just get the little dustpan and I can sweep them up. And before I've even had an emotional reaction, the whole thing is resolved because I've just swept it up and it's gone. So it's not about avoiding things altogether, but it's about approaching them and saying, I am not destined to react a certain way just because I've been taught to react a certain way, or because this is the way I've done it in the past. You can choose again, and you can try to look at the positive in that situation, and you'll really find something of value by doing that. And I always mention this, but we don't really know what's good and bad. Sometimes if you experience something and it's like you sell a product, or you get accepted into a course, or you start a new relationship, it really seems like a triumph in the moment. And you celebrate and you're really happy about it. But then the relationship goes bad, or you realize you studied the wrong thing, or that the publishing company you sold the product to really didn't want to realize your vision in the way you thought it should be realized, and the thing that you were so happy about to begin with turns into a disaster. So it's kind of important to realize that you don't know every outcome to every situation, and that things that seem annoying or problematic in the moment can actually be the opposite in the long run. They can actually be really, really good. So if you don't get into the course, you may feel bad about it and you may feel rejected, but then you find something else which is actually much more aligned with who you are. And then, yes, you may still lament the fact that you didn't get into course A, but you never knew and you never find out that it wasn't going to work for you anyway. And you can devote yourself to the thing that you're doing, which does work, and it would benefit you to let go of the regret, because you don't know what the outcome was ultimately going to be. So here we've got the Six of Cups, and the Six of Cups, she's either, we've got this river here or some mist gathering, and it looks like another version of her, and either she's dreaming about who she could be and what life would be like in a relationship. But what she's forgetting is that she's already got all these wonderful things in her life that she can be grateful for, and it's just creating a lack. It's creating a sense of, I don't have. Also, this could be another couple that she's watching, and same difference really. She sees them in love and kissing, and she's just watching from the side of the river there, and she says, why is everyone happy except me? And again, it totally negates all the good stuff that she's got in her life. So the card is saying that being grateful is important if you don't want to hurt yourself emotionally. So the card is in reverse. So you're not so likely to look outside of yourself, and you're much more likely to kind of be hit over the head with all the good things that you do have in your life. So it's going to be a lot easier to find the perspective in what's going on. So this freedom to choose isn't something that you have to kind of claw your way towards. It's something that naturally occurs, and it gives you your power back. So you have the opportunity to be grateful and to see all the potential opportunities in the things that are going on in your life. But it's important not to label and then to dismiss them. It's important to continue working with them if you want to see where it leads. And whether it's real or imagined, that's quite interesting that I can't tell whether this is mist or a river, because I think that's what the day is going to feel like to a certain extent. Is this really happening to me? Or is this something I dreamt or I'm imagining? Or is this really something I'm going to have to deal with? Or can I just ignore it and it'll pass me by? The important thing is to continue to engage and to stay in that uncertain place of not knowing, and ultimately you will get an answer. We've got the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man, when he's this way around, is someone who's been hanged upside down. He's done something incorrectly, and he's getting a timeout, and it's supposedly giving him a chance to kind of reflect. And with that reflection, the sunlight hits and something new blossoms and grows. And it uproots him as such. It takes him out of his circumstance so that he can find a new light in his life as such. So he can find a new thing to aim towards, that he can reevaluate his goals and what he's doing and how he goes about doing things. So with the card being in reverse, I don't think you're being uprooted, but you're not really seeing the light so clearly. So the important thing is to keep doing what you're doing, to accept that things don't always make sense, and to, the distance it creates from you being in point A and point B being the place where everything makes sense. There's going to be an urgency to get to point B because I want things to make sense. And today the cards are saying that you're going to be somewhere on that spectrum, and the best thing to do is to breathe into and to relax into that place of not knowing, because that's what's going to surprise you, and that's what's going to give you something really worthwhile. It's going to give you an opportunity that is good and that is warming and positive and empowering. So don't be so quick just to jump to conclusions, just to put an end to this tension the uncertainty creates within you. and try and embrace the uncertainty as something normal that's going to make sense in a few hours or at the end of the day. And not to jump the gun just because you want to feel comfortable. Number-wise, we've got 12, and 6 is 18, and 5 is 23, 2 and 3 is 5, and 5 in numerology is freedom. So you have the freedom to exist in whatever energy comes your way, and whether you jump or whether you stay put, whether you feel your feelings or whether you make a decision just to get rid of the feelings of uncertainty. And the card is saying that uncertainty in itself is freedom. And to try and get used to it and to get comfortable with it, because that's where the positive outcomes lie, and that's where you'll be surprised in a really good way. So interesting, not the easiest kind of energy, because it forces you to feel your feelings and to sit with feelings which aren't always comfortable. And a lot of us don't like to do that because we like to know where we're at. So it's the unknowing that leads to something that can be enchanting, and that leads to new growth and new beginnings in your life. So have a great day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Readings to order your reading with me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.